Do you want to start singing but you have no idea where to begin? Should you warm up first? Should you practice songs? Should you find a coach? I'm going to help you with that today. In today's video, I'll break down exactly where to start with vocal training so you can build a strong foundation and actually enjoy your progress. Hi, if you're new here to my channel, welcome. This is Music Mindset Monday episode 6 and I'm your vocal coach Vishmi. And if you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here today and let's get started. The mindset of a beginner. You should always start practicing vocals with the curiosity mind, not with the perfection mindset. The reason is when you have a curiosity mindset, you're more open to explore things. When you have perfection mindset, then you're more closed, you're not experimenting, you're afraid of certain experiments, so then you are bound to fail. So the best way to get started is having a beginner's mindset, the curiosity. And the other thing I want to mention is singing is like fitness. You need to be consistent with it. If you are not, then the result's not going to show up. And also don't compare your day one to someone else's 10 years of experience. That's not going to work for you. You have to always go back to the inspiration. Let's say you have someone that you admire, just try to focus on where they started instead of where they're now. So that can bring you more value, much more peace of mind as well. I highly recommend you to have a vocal journal. I did this vocal journaling when I was studying my bachelor's as well. You don't need to necessarily write everything down, but you need to have a general log about your vocal range, your breathing capacity changes. You need to log these down because after you practice a couple of months, then you can go back and compare yourself to yourself and then make some changes if something's not working for you, or if things are working great, you know it's working, then you just got to keep doing it. Track each week what feels harder or what feels easy. So for example, if you're doing an exercise, make sure to write down after the exercise whether it was hard, whether there were any difficult parts in the exercise, and that way next week, when you do the same exercise, you can compare yourself to your last week and then make a judgment, okay, whether you improved or not, building the foundation. So in singing, I believe these 5 key things are the foundation. There are so much more under these 5 categories, but let's break it down to some simple 5 steps. So the number 1 is breath control, which is your fuel. You need to make sure that you practice diaphragmatic breathing technique. You need to make sure you're engaging your core muscles, not just a thoracic breath, which we say just upper body, like your shoulders and your neck.
I'd like you to start by placing your hands, one hand over your chest and the other hand over your upper belly. Now these hands are going to feel for movement underneath them. The top hand here does not move at all during the in-breath or out-breath. It remains motionless, so your chest remains still. The lower hand will move out and forwards as your belly expands with the in-breath, and then it'll sink back down with the out-breath. Ideally with these diaphragmatic breathing exercises, try to inhale, breathe in through your nose and then out through your mouth. So let's start slowly and deeply. Breathe in to fill up your lungs, and as you do so, sense your belly rising forward with that in-breath and your waist widening. Great. Now let the air out just softly and gently through your mouth and feel the belly sink back down. Chest remains relaxed, shoulders remain relaxed. And that is the correct pattern for doing a diaphragmatic breathing exercise.
And the other foundation is posture. I know this is something very simple, but you need to pay attention because when you are standing tall and nice, when you have a good posture, you're going to have much better breath control. And that means you're going to have much better pitch control because breathing and pitch are very much connected. So you need to make sure you have a good posture when you're singing, when you're practicing even pitch and strength. Once you've got your breath, the next step is to making the pitch and your vocal powerful. So you can do a song but if it's not in correct pitch, it's not going to sound nice. You'll sound okay, but if it's not in the correct pitch or if you don't have power, it's not going to sound nice. To train pitch, you can start simply playing a piano note on a electric piano or in an app, and then hum it back and check whether you can generate the exact pitch. If you are able to do that, great. You can do simple exercises like lip trills or 5-tone scale. So many pitch training scale exercises are there in YouTube. You can definitely watch them and practice. So that's a must that you need to do. Strength, on the other hand, is about building vocal stamina. So singing is like working out. The more you use your vocal cords are tiny muscles, and the more you train them, more you use them in the correct way, you're going to build strength. Lip trills, humming, and gentle scale exercises, sirens. So, like, pitch exercises are also beneficial for building strength. It goes hand in hand. When you do pitch exercises, it automatically makes your vocal strength. The more you do, the vocal tissue, the tiny muscles gets worked out, and then they become stronger and stronger. So the next one is expression. It's not just about technique, it's also you expressing your emotions when you're singing. It's the most important thing, I think. I think when we pay attention to too much technical things, we sometimes doesn't pay much attention to this component. So I highly recommend you to analyzing other singers, how they express their emotion. And the final fact is vocal health. It's non-negotiable. You need to make sure you're hydrated throughout all these practicing and performing if you're performing already, and make sure you take rest when needed. Make sure you take rest when you're sick, not to train or sing when you're sick. So make sure you do that. Vocal health is a must. So that's why I'm including it in here. And you can do like a 10 to 20 minutes daily workout each day, targeting these 5 components. So breath and posture, pitch and strength, expression, and then the vocal health. Make sure you're practicing all these things daily. Part 3. First, practical exercises. So I'll list down few exercises that you can start off with. I'm pretty sure you already tried some of these. Number 1 would be like a gentle warm up. You can use lip trills, humming, or tongue trills. So your normal lip trill would look like something like that. Or you can do the tongue roll, which is like that, or you can do some humming. The second way that you can practice daily is by doing scales. You can do the scale called the 5-tone scale, which is you're going from 1 to the 5th note in any given scale. Let's say you're in C major, then you're going to go C, D, E, F, G, and then go back down to the C by descending the scale. So you start with C major and then go to like a C sharp major and then a D major, D sharp major, like that. For men, I think in the F3 octave is a good starting point, and for female voices, an A3 is a good starting point, and then you can go higher and higher until you feel comfortable. And when you're doing these 2 basic exercises, you need to make sure you focus on your breath and you are relaxed when you're doing this. You're not forcing the sound out. It needs to come out nice and naturally, because these are like more of a warm up. And a small tip would be you recording your exercises. It helps you to hear your progress over time. I know it's a little bit of a tedious process when you're recording each and every session, but just maybe like a couple of minutes you just record and then you keep a recording log for your each practice session. And the fourth part would be learning songs the right way. So when you're first choosing a song, make sure that it is something simple, not too crazy, and it's in your vocal range. This is very important. Most of the time, I've seen singers picking songs that are not in their range, and they try to do the song in the original key, which then leads to break voice or sound very nasty on those high or low notes. Make sure you check what's your lowest and what's your highest note that you can achieve, and check whether the song is in that range. If it is, then good, you can start practicing. And when you're practicing the song, I want you to break down the song into sections. So you can go verse, chorus, pre-chorus, bridge, section them out, and pay attention to each sections. Don't just go from the beginning to the end, beginning to the end. You're not going to learn anything with that method. Take the very first verse, pre chorus, chorus. I sometimes take 2 sections or 3 sections at a time if the song is a bit easy. You can do the same. Make sure you're adding the dynamics when you're practicing. Every song has a dynamic curve. That's what I call it. Every song is different. Some songs starts very softly and ends very huge, like a loud dynamic range. Some songs start soft, go in the middle section to the loudest, and ends again in a very soft. So make sure you listen to that in the original song. What's the dynamic curve? You can even write this down and try to practice that. If you have a belting note in the song, don't rush. Take your time, do couple of minutes warm up, like I said in the previous section. Do lip trills, do humming. You need to make sure that you are warmed up on those high notes before you do the belting stuff in the song. Part 5, when to work with a vocal coach. So you've done your basic exercises, you followed tutorials on YouTube, and then you had some progress. You're already singing a couple of songs, but you feel like you're stuck, or you feel like, okay, there's no improvement anymore, or you feel like you want to improve a bit faster. Maybe you have something coming up, like a performance, or maybe you want to do your original song. Then this is a good time for you to find a vocal coach. And also, when you have a vocal coach, you have some accountability. So you tend to practice a bit more when you have someone rather than you trying to do on your own. Don't get me wrong, you can still practice without a vocal coach, but it's going to take some time for you to develop your vocals, and it's going to be a bit hard at times. You just have knowledge and you just practice, and then you don't have feedback. Because of that, you can be a little bit stuck. So it's better to have a vocal coach. But again, I want to mention you can start training without a coach. I've seen so many students do that. And then when they come to like an intermediate level, they start up with a coach. When they are very serious about it, then they come to a coach and get the guidance. Coaches help you with your vocal technique, your vocal styling, and then they keep you motivated. It's not like they're going to be just telling you the vocal techniques. They're also going to be telling you like how you can utilize your day-to-day habits as well. When I'm coaching a student, I'm not going to talk about only the vocal aspect. I'm going to be talking about how you should have your diet or your exercise aligned if you're very serious about vocal coaching. So if you want some guidance, if you want some structure, if you want some accountability, and if you're stuck, this is when you want to finding a vocal coach. So these are my key takeaways from this video for you guys. The main thing is your mindset, and then you need to make sure that you keep those basic singing fundamentals checked every day when you're practicing your breathing, your posture, your pitch, the vocal strengthening, and your vocal health. And make sure you're expressing when you're singing. And your first exercise should always be simple warm-ups. It shouldn't be this crazy technical exercises. Try to make sure that you pick the songs that matches to your vocal range. And then lastly, get a coach if you feel stuck, or if you feel like, okay, I'm ready to explore more or learn more. That's a good mindset as well, to hire a coach. Okay, so drop a comment with your first vocal training goal and subscribe for more weekly videos like this. And until next time, you have a good week. See you then. Bye.